Qualifying now, so thanks to everybody for paying for my insurance. Some of my materials already been stolen. I think it's part of going third. I want to acknowledge two other wedding anniversaries that we didn't mention. Paul and Aunt Shannon, who couldn't be here, their 60th. My sister Ann and Tracy could stand up. They're 40th. Anybody there that knows how hard it is? I'm next, yes. So let's start this. Hello and welcome everybody. Thanks for coming and making Emily and Jared's special day so special. I want to remember our special grandparents who have passed. Thanks, Emily and Jared, for all the hard work you put into celebrating my birthday. and your wedding. Best decision of my life is getting married to your mom. A great wife, great partner, and the best mom. Love you. Now you're going to have to be a little older to understand some of those next parts. So we're going to move on to 1988. What were the movies in 1988? They were Beetlejuice, Die Hard, and Crocodile Dundee. And I'm going to cover a wide range here. We will also get into Yahtzee and Otter Tail County. Now into this speech. We're also going to cover a little bit, you're going to be surprised, a little bit on prison. My wife said I should give some marriage advice. Don't jump ahead, and it's nothing to do with the prison part. 1988 was also, anybody that was a farmer in Wisconsin, it was also a big drought year. That wasn't funny. a drought year. So we lost, in 1980, we lost Shell Stay. Shell said if he would have been a merchant marine. He enjoyed traveling. So spring that year was tough, but things changed on June 22nd when Emily was born and named after Shell's dad. The spirit of Emily would live on. Little did we know the extent. We had a health scare in Shell's pregnancy with Emily. So at birth, when Emily was born, they whisked her away and she checked out fine, which of course was a great relief. Little did we know the health risk had shifted to home. Waiting at home was an older sister, guarding her turf that she was not prepared to share. Now this is where she stole some of my material. So we bring Emily home, and I bring her on the living room floor, and I can literally see this like it was yesterday. I put her on the floor, and I'm on my knees to meet her older sister, and she puts her hand on me like this, and she looks at me. Can I jump over her? Yeah, no, we don't want you jumping over her. That and all the people in the grocery stores that would love to pinch her cheeks. So, moving on. I know that pinching cheeks made Emily tough for the future. And the other thing that her and Jared share is being the middle child. I'm not sure how any of us survived our siblings as middle children. It seems to me I remember all of the pictures of Emily from Nikki being 6 to Emily being 2 or 3 of various chokeholds that Nikki had on Emily. Eventually, Emily became props in all of Nikki's creations, from plays to parades. We'll never forget Grandma Lois helping with so many ideas and numerous to mention. Jared and Emily share a childhood benefit that many of us can relate to, the road side especially. The centerpiece was the farm. So Sunday evenings it was a tradition to go to the farm. Many cookouts. One particular Sunday evening, we learned that Shell was pregnant with Eric, which sent Nikki into a crying, bawling fit. So we're heading over to the farm, and if you wouldn't know this, but we turn onto Cedar Sauk Road to get to my parents' farm. I can still remember kind of turning around because Nikki's still crying. And Emily looks at her, just looks right at her and says, "Nikki, you'll adjust." I got a note here that Jared will have to take care of, I think. Emily early on was a Beanie Baby fan. I'm not sure where that collection went. And I know it's worth millions. So high school and college seemed to fly by. I know one of the highlights there was shopping with Tricia and Susan. And then the other traditions were by my sister Ann. I suppose this might be where we're introduced to alcohol. My mischievous aunts and uncles, all good fun under watchful eyes. Now forward to traveling, which was incredible. Emily lived in Glasgow and London. I think she told me one time that she was in 35 different countries plus. Shell and I visited her in Scotland, and we might manage to find the only motel in the Highlands with no heat.
Oh my God.
So Shell, Emily, and I one night slept together in one of the beds. Quite the bonding experience. Visiting her in London showed me her courage. She was just the opposite of me. I was more like my dad. I didn't really want to travel or go anywhere. It put me kind of out of sorts. When I got over there, I saw the courage she had to live in these, I won't describe them, but some just really strange circumstances. Little do we know that her living over there, half a world away in Otter County, Minnesota, was somebody she should really meet. Once home from Europe after a short amount of time, again, this living with different conditions, I was upstairs and I just kind of bopped in on her and I said, how did you manage that? I mean, again, I'm very uncomfortable with that. I remember her saying that she had 3 feet of space. That's all she needed. If I could have 3 feet of privacy. So I proceed to go downstairs and tell Shell if any of us ends up in prison, my bet is on Emily that she can handle it the best. If we carry that a little forward, I know that Nikki would try to improve prison efficiencies. Eric would stream their data. Anybody want to guess what Shell would do? Organize pickleball. Would lead to murders, even more. Emily had some interesting jobs. She worked for the British Embassy, had a wild time in San Francisco battling bedbugs. Her decision to join Eric in Minneapolis has led to this day and meeting that guy. This guy who lettered in Yahtzee at Campbell High and makes Emily so happy. My first impression was how well they clicked on many things. I knew quickly this just might be the guy. When one day she referred to him as my Jared, which made me kind of, really? All right. But right from the get-go, he was always so sweet to her, and that's something that a father always watches for. Didn't take him long. He was pretty comfortable around us. I got back from work one day and I saw the Minnesota license plates in our driveway, and we come in the house, and Eric is coming up from the rec room, and I said to Eric, is Jared here? Oh, yeah, he's down in the hen house. Well, at that point, I didn't know his last name. So as he's in the hen house, you know, Hench. Whoa, this guy, he's moving, you know, he's kind of getting names in our houses, and he had a place up north that we call the Jared Room, which now I think we can actually say is official. You can call that, the other night you were talking about putting stuff up in the Jared Room. It's obviously very witty and quick. A short story, not to offend anybody. First time we went into that church, I said to him that, and I work with Lutherans and Catholics. I just got up to him and I said, you know, this Catholics were kind of the varsity of the Christian religion. And he looks at me and says, I like to think of the Lutherans as putting the pro in Protestant. I really picked my battle very carefully. Okay, back to the Shell suggestion I give some marriage advice. Jared, learn that when your wife suggests something, it's not a suggestion. In true life, anything worthwhile takes effort to be successful, and a great marriage is absolutely worth all the effort. I have two toasts, so I'm done torturing you. The first one is just kind of a team loyalties toast. I want to check here first. How many Viking fans? Pretty weak. Packer fans? Would have been my guess. So this is not raise your glass. This is just a short one. Cousins can be a fun part of your new married life, but we all know it's love that will get you where you want to go. Now let's raise a glass. Jared and Emily, congratulations on an amazing wedding day. Use this day as a beautiful start to a beautiful marriage. Mom and I love you. Cheers. Let's party.
Yeah.